What's up, guys? Mad Rambles episode 52. So, it is almost another Sunday, so I will be putting on two more things I can improve on for next week. So, as always, I will go through what the things I'm looking to improve on the previous week's were and last week's. That being coming up with an idea, enthusiasm, video professionalism, going into detail when talking about topics, a video plan, being more seated, less off-putting by my movements, adding a title, posting immediately after doing rather than waiting, just trying to show urgency, looking more into the camera rather than anywhere else in the room, rewatching my videos, planning out my videos, and stopping with the ums, ahs, and useless words. Because I feel like that's not only important in doing these videos, but important in life. It's a useful skill to have. So, today's episode is episode 52. I'll move the camera actually slightly, that's better. It is episode 52, and the title of that is Polymath. What is a polymath? And within that, I'm going to talk about what is a polymath, most notable polymaths, why you'd want to become a polymath, so how you can benefit from becoming one, and how to become a polymath. This was a topic that I only heard about 2 years ago, I think, and I got a book, so I started reading. And I wanted to get better and just acquire more skills and knowledge. I didn't really know what to read. I didn't really know where I wanted to improve on. So I just bought a fucking ton of books every week and just started reading them. One of the books was called Polymath. It was it wasn't a long book, but it was a really interesting book, and it taught me about something that has always interested me, but I never really understood or knew about. And that being what is a polymath? A polymath is someone who has a high level of knowledge in a varying skill set, right? So, notable polymaths being Leonardo da Vinci, for one. The man wasn't just an engineer. The man was a sculptor. He was a painter. He was an artist. You know, he had all these attributes that he could combine together to create the beauty of what he made. And that's how he was able to create to make some obscene like gliders that were revolutionary in the time, and no one had ever made, and still didn't make for hundreds of years since. After that, and then he painted the Mona Lisa and all the Last Supper and a load of different other works. But he did that because he had acquired skills in a varying, in just across the board. He acquired skills across the board, and by doing that, you gain the ability to perceive things and see holes where most people don't, right? Because when someone is exceptionally concentrated in their field, be that an engineer, be that architecture, you know, it's very hard for them to see what other people think. For instance, I did engineering at university, right? So you'd see all these architects, these amazing sculptures, amazing buildings, like amazing drawings. They look phenomenal, and then they sort of make little models or simulators or whatever, and they look phenomenal. These look beautiful buildings, but when you looked at it, it's just fucking impossible, man. Like that, you just and from an engineering standpoint, defy fucking gravity, mate. It just fall down and collapse. Like it was so outlandish and so beautiful that it would just couldn't exist in the real world because it would just fall down. Like simple as that. There was no way that you could make that work. So they didn't have that perspective. Now that is a very broad example, but it can be translated into any area, right? Because when you do business, right? You do business, you talk about sales, you maybe talk about marketing, but you don't know how to copyright. You don't know the psychology of people. So you fail in certain areas, and then there's other people that excel past you because you don't have the same knowledge as them. And that's because they've acquired more skills, right? They've become a polymath. People like Alex Hormozy talk about skill stacking and acquiring skills. And ultimately, what he's talking about is talking about becoming a polymath. A polymath is someone who has a skill set that is higher than, I'd say, 95% of people in multiple areas, right? So if you want to do that within business, if you want to do that within, engineering, architecture, like Da Vinci, whatever it is, that is how to become a polymath. And that is done through time, practice, and seeking different skills. And at the start, when I learned about this, you always hear the same old rubbish of, a jack of all trades, a master of none, concentrate on something, otherwise you get nothing done. And while that is kind of true, in the sense that if, say, for instance, you were starting a business and then you were like, you know what, today I'm going to do drop shipping. So you spend two weeks doing drop shipping, and then you're like, today I'm doing copywriting. And then you're like, today I'm going to do marketing this. Today I'm going to be a designer. Today I'm going to be an engineer. Whatever it is, right? So in that sense, if you were to do multiple things, you basically just have shiny object syndrome, and you're just hopping from different thing to thing to thing. And that is not good. However, when you acquire skills, the fundamentals of things, that is where true success comes from. Because you look at anyone who's successful, Elon Musk, for example, the man has skill sets in multiple areas. He can code, he has an engineering background, he has all these different things that he cultivates and accumulates to form Elon Musk, right? And that's why he's the richest man in the fucking world. Because he's developed those skills. Alex Hormozy, why is he able to go in any situation and potentially dominate? Because he knows business as a just business, the generic business. He knows marketing, he knows sales, he knows copywriting. He knows the psychology of people and what get people thinking, what will push people's buttons, how to befriend people, how to be seen as someone they want to work with. All these little intangible things that you learn and develop over time, because he has acquired them, and that makes him a polymath. That makes him more valuable than, say, someone who just went in and became exceptionally good at sales. Because you see people who go in and become exceptionally good at sales, and they're so focused, and yeah, they become a 0.1% of people in the sales industry. But the problem with that is, if you put them anywhere else, they crumble, right? Because they have no background, they have no knowledge in it. It's not their fault. They have no knowledge in it. Why would you expect them to excel? They have no knowledge in it. But if you put someone who is in the top 5% or top 1%, but then in top 1% in 5 different areas, you could pretty much put them, if they've acquired the right skills in any sort of area in the world, and they could excel because they have the knowledge to do so, because they've acquired the necessary skills of life. So it's all about, so life to me, this is what I think about what is life. And I think to me, the beauty of life is the attempt to acquire as many valuable skills to sort of go up this almost skill ladder and level yourself up, right? It's like playing a game, right? You play a game, I think Tate's talked about this, you play a game and you sort of acquire this skill, level yourself up, acquire this skill, level yourself up. Oh, now I can make more money as a result, level yourself up. And that is the benefit of becoming a polymath. And not just that, when you acquire multiple skills, you look at stuff from different angles, right? Say you have a business, for an example, and you are running a business. You can then sit there and break it down and say, okay, how does this look from a copywriter standpoint? How does this look from a sales standpoint? How does this look from a marketing standpoint? You have so much more perspective, and therefore can elevate your business as a result, compared to the man that can only look at it from a sales point of view, because that's all he knows. All he knows is a salesman. All he knows is sales. So how's anything else going to exceed? That's why he needs other people. And yeah, cool, you can say other people is good, because then they can focus and pinpoint down. But I think if you're trying to become someone who's a sort of leader, someone who's a top of whatever they're doing, you need to have the ability to manage and sort of control those around you in sort of so that you know what you're doing is right, they're going in the right way, and if they do need any help, you can provide valuable input. And you do that through acquiring skills. Like, it doesn't have to be the 1.1% of people. It just has to be the top 2-3%, right? And that's done through working on something for 20 hours. They say to become a master of something, you need 10,000 hours of experience in that. But to understand it more than like 95% of the population, you only need to put 20 hours of work in it. So like I've talked about before, whatever you want, break it down into the necessary skills you need, all right? Those skills will create what you need to do, Right? Those skills will add up to be able to do what you want to do. Those skills will make you a polymath, and you break it down. How much time do I need to do to acquire this skill? How much time do I need to do to acquire this skill? And then you go out and do it. Anyway, been go cool. Be a polymath. I've been Keelan. Peace.